Welcome to the Saloon.
Gentlemen, welcome to the very first episode of the Saloon, the official podcast of the Denver Rough Riders. My name is Michael. I'm the vice president of the Rough Riders here. I handle all the social media, so you've probably seen my crappy Canva edits on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. So I apologize about that. But we have a special guest with us here today. But before we introduce them, I have the president of the Rough Riders over here, Max. Max, would you like to introduce yourself to our people here?
Yeah, howdy everybody. My name is Max. I'm the president of the Denver Rough Riders. We're super happy to be here. Like Michael said, it's been a long time coming here. We're just happy to talk a lot of lacrosse with you guys. And we're just stoked for this season to get underway.
Yeah, so Max, obviously, we've talked about the podcast for a while now. Took us long enough to get there. You know, we've been in group for now 2 years. And better late than never for the podcast. I mean, we put it out on social media to see if anyone is interested, and I thought we're going to get maybe 4 or 5 people interested, all of those being our parents or, you know, friends, spouses, whatever. But when they came back with close to, I think we had 83 people respond that we need to have a podcast, and the answer was kind of, you guys took long enough. I was blown away. So I think this is long overdue, and I think I'm super excited to get started with you guys. Going into that, Max, would you like to introduce our very first guest? We had, before we get into that part, we put a poll out on Instagram on who we'd have first on our podcast. And I don't know if people think we're that serious yet. You know, like, this is our first podcast. We're not that great, you know. But people are saying, like, Logan Wisnakas, Brendan O'Neill, Eric Law. We had the Bocklet family. But Max, would you like to introduce our very first guest on here?
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, our first amazing guests are another supporter group for the New York Atlas, the New York Stampede. We're joined here today by Gage and Dave. They've been amazing. Just really great to be with them.
You're very happy to be here. Sorry to all the Denver fans out there. I'm not Brennan O'Neill, and I probably never will be. But very happy to be here.
Hey, I mean, Max was signing stuff for the Champ Series with people thinking he was Brendan O'Neill. So, you know, we got someone that's close enough. You know, we can give it a shot here.
Yeah, Brendan O'Neill and some chaps.
So, kind of alluding to why we chose the Stampede as our first guest, which is a big deal. Gage and I were the ones behind the scenes that kind of poked a little bit of fun at each other. Gage, actually, I think you actually reached out to us, and you're like, hey, let's start a rivalry together. Let's make this a little fun. And so, you know, I naturally agreed to it because there's nothing going on in upstate New York. So I was like, yeah, absolutely. They make it pretty easy to make fun of them. You know, and I was like, where even is upstate New York? Like, is it not just New York City? So definitely agreed upon it. So I want to bring them on here to get kind of their ideas on us as well.
Yeah, contrary to popular belief, upstate New York does not start right above Queens. Albany is kind of the beginning. I'll concede Poughkeepsie if I really have to, but I don't like to.
What'd you just call
Yeah, but going back to starting the rivalry, we just figured that, you know, our personalities matched. Denver guys super active on social media as well as we are, and so we kind of just figured it'd be a good match. And, you know, it's tough to come up with chirps because, you know, you think nothing happens in upstate New York. Even less things happen in Colorado. You're in a forgotten time zone, you know, major sports. I'll give you the Nuggets, but, you know, no one cares about anyone else, right? But I'm just kidding, you know. Denver's a fantastic lacrosse community, and the Rough Riders you guys are a real shining example of that. So it's a pleasure to be on here, and it's a pleasure to, you know, share chirps with you on socials like we do.
I mean, let's be honest, for poor upstate New York, you know, the Atlas are pretty similar with the Bills, where you guys just can't get over that hump of, you know, winning the championship. You know, we just want us in the championship series, you know, so that's all right, though. But we still love you guys. Kind of going off what Gage said, they ran a great social media. We had a competition at supporter groups, and it was a very hard win for us to get it. They run a great social media. Gage kills it over there. I thought for sure that you worked in social media, and to find out that you didn't, I was pretty floored. So that was really cool to learn that you don't even run social media. However, the Stampede page looks the way it does, which is absolutely phenomenal. So appreciate you guys spending your time with us today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, same to you. You guys have great posts, great graphics, you know, great media and just content all around. So I was impressed to find out that, you know, you guys have nothing to do, you know, with the graphic design game or anything like that either. Just a few amateurs getting it done.
Hey, we're killing it.
Hey, you know, in Colorado, we ride ski lifts to work every day, ski everywhere, and then wear your Patagonia vest. You know, so that's kind of what we do. You wear your boots everywhere too, so that's all we got going on. But yeah, just want to introduce you guys. Obviously, you guys got a story. You come from one of the most historic states of lacrosse. Obviously, you guys probably have a story to tell as well. Gage, we can kind of start with you. Why did you pick lacrosse as your sport, and why do you consider yourself a ringleader for the Stampede?
Yeah, so I guess the start, I played baseball up until sixth grade, and it was just never my thing. I could never really get into it. A lot of the local, you know, people and all my friends and everything played baseball, and it was just kind of the thing to do. And then I think one, summer we got a flyer about lacrosse, and I was just kind of looking to change out. Big football guy, played since kindergarten there, so kind of started watching like little highlights games, and I was like, oh wow, this is a lot like football and hockey. And I never played hockey, but I've always been a big fan. And so I signed up and started playing in sixth grade. And I played all the way through until club lacrosse at UAlbany. I was a goalie, club lax legend. But lacrosse it instantly clicked for me. Like once I got on the field, I really enjoyed it. The physicality of the game, the quick pace up and down the field, and just the camaraderie of the lacrosse community is fantastic. You never find anything like it. And I think these supporter groups are a shining example of that as well. We're just really lucky to have tight-knit and passionate supporter groups all around the league, and I'm very proud to be a part of that. It's a great platform to get the message out and tell everyone what we're all about and grow the game in a positive way. And with that being said, I'll pass it over to my father and the Stampede information czar, Dave, and he can tell you a little bit more about his story and why the Stampede and why the Atlas and why the PLL and why lacrosse.
Well, obviously, like Gage said, alluded to that I am his father, so I got involved because of him. Him wanting to be successful in something. Me and his mother were very impressed that when he was in high school, he decided to stick being a goalie, knowing that he might not play attack or midi. And we're like, you really want to get balls shot at you, like at, tens of 80 miles an hour? He goes, sure. So, but he stuck with it, and he played varsity lacrosse as a freshman. They won the sectional title 3 years in a row, got in the sectional title game 4 years in a row. Yeah, so he's the reason why we're here. I'm here because he made me have that love for lacrosse. We've been, like he said, football family, kind of, like the physicality. I like the physicality of the sport specifically. That's just one of my things. If you're physical with another team, that changes their game. So that was what really drew us to the sport, and then to see everything, all the nuances to the sport itself, is kind of what keeps me in the sport. And also just the connection with the indigenous people in New York State. I think it's great. I love history. I love all that connection. No matter how much people decide that history doesn't matter and they try to erase it, it does matter, and it ties you to those people that came before you. So I think it's all a good learning experience, if you dive deep into the history books and see what lacrosse was about and why it started and how we can continue that tradition today. So reason for the Atlas, obviously, because we're from New York. It was a team that Gage and I kind of bonded over when they first came out, honestly. Not just because they were New York, but just even when Rabel was on the team way back when in 2019, we kind of decided to pick that team. So, it definitely was a great bonding experience. So keep that bonding experience through lacrosse with me and him. So, yeah. So, yeah, we're excited.
Did you realize that when you probably sign up for lacrosse in sixth grade and you're like, oh, I'm going to play goalie? You probably saved that team. They probably could not find another sixth grader that want to stand in net and take
So
like these crappy shots. Like, you probably saved that team.
so the reason I started playing goalie, I was playing attack at first, and the goalie at the time took one right to the to the not so nice place. That's a family show. We got to keep it clean.
Nice.
We can leave that part out. That's fine.
Yeah, he walked off the field and said, "I'm never playing goalie again." And they were like, "We need a goalie." And like I was kind of just sitting there, and I was like, "Well, I could probably try it." And so, in sixth grade, you got all the pads. You got thigh pads, shin pads, obviously cup, but like extra pads everywhere. You wearing elbow pads as a goalie, which maybe he wasn't. So maybe that's what led to this.
He is now, though. If he's still playing, I guarantee he's wearing one now.
But yeah, so then I just hopped in goal, and I kind of was back and forth between attack and goalie to start, and just stuck with goalie because I always had an affinity for goalies. Like, go back when I'm watching hockey, I'm a Sabres fan, unfortunately.
That's my fault. I'll take the blame for that one.
No wonder you're Atlas fans. Like, at least you have one winning team up there. Holy.
Yeah. But, I was always a big Hasek, Miller, any goalie that came through the doors there, I was a big fan of. So I was like, oh, I can be like Ryan Miller. It's not the same at all. Padding, and the goal's a lot smaller. We made it work, and, I fell in love with being a goalie, so, yeah.
That's awesome. I can just imagine, like, that kid goes down, cup's broken or whatever. He's like, I'm never playing again. The coach is looking around. He's like, oh, who do we have? Who do we have? He sees you. He taps you on the back of the helmet. He's like, you're our goalie, kid. And then the last person we have, last but not least, is Max. You're kind of like the godfather of Colorado lacrosse, I feel like. I always tell people Max knows every single person that's picked up a stick in the state of Colorado. Like, you can be at Dick's Sporting Goods and you pick up a lacrosse stick, and Max comes from around the corner and he's like, what you doing? You want to play some lacrosse? So, taking it over here, Max.
Wow, you're too kind. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of guys like me, but yeah, I definitely like to dip in to every aspect of lacrosse in Colorado, specifically the men's league. Bunch of great guys looking to just always keep the sport alive out there. So shout out to all the leagues that we all play in down in Denver, Fort Collins, wherever it might be. Yeah, just always had a stick in my hand since I was little. Lacrosse has been a big part of my life. Grew up in Durango, Colorado. Played lacrosse down there. Came up here to Denver, just continued it. So I'm just happy to share my fandom with all of you guys. Denver lacrosse obviously has been around for quite a while. The Outlaws. So just had to show my fandom in the best way I know how. Spreading the word to all the fellow lacrosse guys and wearing chaps while cheering on the Outlaws. So it's just going to be a good year.
We'll give it a shout out to, I don't know who's going to listen to this from CSU, but Max is a CSU grad and played lacrosse up there. You guys have a good following. You guys, that's a good school. You guys are kicking some butt. You guys beat Boise State today. That was a huge win.
Oh yeah. I'm glad you're checking in on that. Yeah, go Rams. Played up there for a little bit. Love the team up there. Love the MCLA environment there. And we always got DU down here as well. We always pay attention to DU. We got programs all over the state too. CU, Boulder, Mines, Colorado College. So all a great community, and I'm just happy to be all a part of it. Meeting guys from all over the state, especially in these men's leagues. We all come together as a family. So that's just what I love about it. I love bringing all of us together. It's just great. Yeah.
Then obviously I kind of know your reasoning, but why the Rough Riders for you? Why are we together running this very amateur podcast for everybody?
Oh, because who else, right? No, we are just tagging it together. We're great. We're great together. I think we complete each other. You're the social media presence. I'll run the back end any way, shape, or form. But together, I think we're growing the fandom back from when the Outlaws left. now that they're back, I think we're just taking it one step at a time. And yeah, like I said earlier, just what a better way to show our fandom than kind of leading this and kind of spearheading the fan base of Denver, kind of bringing it back to life, if you will. So great.
Yeah. Well, my story is very different than all of you guys. I played soccer my whole entire life, so I was a field fairy. And my sophomore year, going into my junior year, we had one of our attack guys who played varsity his whole entire career. He came down and he started playing soccer with us to get the cardio, you know, whatever. And he was terrible. He just was bad at soccer, but really good at lacrosse. And one day we were sitting on the bench together because I had terrible grades, so I never played. I was always riding the pine. He looks at me and he's like, "You run a lot." And I was like, "Well, when I play, I do." He's like, "You should come play lacrosse." I was like, "Why would I play lacrosse? That's actually insane." He's like, "No, come play with us. Come try it out." And of course, then that's when like Lyle Thompson was a big thing. That's when Rob Pennell was Cornell. You know, it's like lacrosse is like in its prime. Paul Rabel still turning up with the Lizards and the Cannons back then. So I was like, okay, you know, and like growing up here, like the John Grants, the Brian Langtrees, you know, we grew up with like good lacrosse here, and I was like, I can give it a whirl. So he handed me like my first Nike shaft. That was the 70-75, and then the Proton Power. That was pinched to ungodly amount. Like I couldn't even drop the ball out of it. It wasn't like, I don't know why I played with it. Picked it up from there, and then just kind of became a summer standout from there. And then I went to trade school, so I didn't play collegiately. So I literally played for about 1.5 seasons. But as far as the Rough Riders, when they started this group, I knew this is something we wanted to do. I'm passionate about, obviously, like I said, Denver Nuggets, the Rapids. If it's a Colorado sport, I'm here for it. And lacrosse just holding a special spot in my heart and what the sport means to me, the world, everything else. I knew I had to be in it some way, somehow. So, you know, what it means for me, too, is I have 2 boys. So it's like I want to make sure that this sport's still around for when my kids start playing lacrosse one day. You know, I have a 2-year-old and one on the way. So, you know, where is the game at in 20 years? Are they playing club goalie at Albany too? Maybe they're the next girl. I don't know. But, you know, like we get to be that little piece of history, you know, like we get to see how far the PLL goes. And when it goes big, we're going to be like, hey, we're the ones that started the supporter groups. And, you know, we were here from the get-go. So that's really the fun part. And I think that's why all of us are here. You know what I mean?
Yep. Couldn't say it better myself, man. That was awesome. That was great.
Sweet. So going back into, obviously, the PLL and the big things going, all of us just came back from the Champ Series in February. So 1 month ago now, which is kind of crazy to think about. That flew by. I see the WLL start. So New York, obviously you have the Atlas out there and you have the Charging. What were our thoughts on what are you guys' thoughts on the Champ Series out there?
It sucked.
I mean, both teams, and it's
tough to get.
You lost to as well. That's the worst part.
Right, we lost to the champ queens.
Hey, at least
the Champ Series.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the old saying? They're like, history doesn't repeat itself, but you're like Surime. Like, history repeated itself at the Champ Series again.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. No, it was great. I thought it was good. I mean, yeah, it'd been nice to win if, you know, somebody keeps the ball on the stick for the last 22 seconds of the game. That'd be better. But I really was enthused or whatever, motivated with the WLL. Just seeing that from the Charlotte North picture that, you know, blew up on social media to just, you know, seeing the faces of everyone, not just the girls but just everybody with their how they played and how they decided to change the rules of the women's game to get more into the sixes for the Olympics. I thought it was great. I thought the women put on a hell actually of a exhibition. They were just fantastic, and they were there signing autographs. You know, they were there for hours. It seemed like signing autographs, and if everybody wanted an autograph, they got one. If they wanted a picture, they got one. It was just, wish the men would do a little bit more of the promotion than just the women. But the women are definitely, you know, all in and just charging forward. New York Charging.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Is that a Los Angeles Chargers? Huh? It's funny how that works. Oh, okay.
So,
I mean, I think the biggest thing with it was obviously when I played lacrosse, my little sister, she kind of follows my footsteps, and she picked up playing women's lacrosse when I was playing. And she only played for 1 year. She had a way better career than I did. She actually made varsity, and she actually played really well. Actually scored goals, unlike me. But the biggest thing is, I think there's a lot of girls out there that have the older brother that plays, or whatever it is, and they get to go watch this sport now, and they get to have their own sport too. And seeing all the girls run around in the jerseys, all the girls running around with their sticks, and getting the autographs. Like, I think the sport needed this, and I think the girls needed it as well. Gage, you even went and bought a Lizzie Skane jersey that was incredibly clean. I mean, can we just talk about how nice those jerseys were too? The design.
You're damn right I bought an Izzy Skane jersey, man. That was my only hope of the weekend. I bought it Saturday night after the Atlas lost, and don't regret it. I got it somewhere. It's hanging up in the closet, but yeah, don't regret it at all. Fantastic event. I was incredibly impressed with the WLL and the players, and how the league, promoted it and really went all in. It was amazing to see. I really think that was the highlight of that weekend for me, was just seeing how much support was in the building for that. I mean, they sold out a few games, and that place was rocking for the WLL games, and I thought it was just amazing. Otherwise, the PLL was great. Yeah, tough end for us there, but otherwise, getting to see all of the supporter groups was fantastic, because I didn't go last year, so seeing everyone this year and actually meeting everybody was fantastic. The ideas that we could bounce off of each other and just see how much support we all have for each other, even if we're chirping on social media, or Boston and New York, heated rivalry, right, that goes back generations.
With
talking
every
to,
sport, by the way.
with everything that's ever happened.
We're not talking Red Sox, Yankees. We're not talking Bruins, Rangers, Islanders. I don't care. It's everything.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Thing goes back to 1776 there. So, yeah, talking to Aiden and Casey from the Battery was great, and they were fantastic. Everybody was great, and it was just a ton of fun. And can't wait for next year, and I can't wait to see what everybody has up their sleeves for this summer, because it's going to be a hell of a summer. And I think we all have amazing ideas on how to grow not just the supporter groups, but the league and the game in general. And everybody's really giving it their all.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with this trip too was, like you said, I didn't go last year either, and we were fortunate enough to go this time. And the opportunity to connect with you guys, kind of finally meet the guy that's been terrorizing me on this Atlas page for over a year now, is nice. Finally put a face to it. I was like, oh, so this is the guy that's been terrorizing me. Nice. So it was good to meet everybody. Dean and Cassidy over the Battery, they were awesome. I really connected with James and Tobin with the Arrowhead. For us, it's a big thing of growing the sport in the West, especially in Utah. Like, it's not big out there. The fact that they got a franchise, that's huge. They got a team out there. They're getting a hockey team. They're getting a lacrosse team. Utah might be on the up and up. Who knows? We don't know. They're forgetting how to act with that hockey team, that's for sure. But, it was really cool. Like, the Maryland guys were awesome. Like I said, it's really cool to sit in a room full of people that care about the sport just as much as you do, maybe even more. And kind of bounce some ideas off. That's kind of where we got this podcast idea from, and you guys are helping us with it too. And kind of like we said with the WL too, watching that, I think it proved to a lot of people that there's this idea that women's lacrosse is freeze tag. And I kid you not, every other play that I saw, a girl was picking herself up off of the turf because they're laying out on every single play. And it was a physical game. I think some of the games were probably more physical than the men's games, to be honest. Like, it was actually incredible.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. I always say, whoever hasn't been to Champ Series, you got to go to Champ Series. Not only for the
100%.
WL but the PLL. Yeah, I was super impressed with everything with the WLL. Just like you said, Michael. I mean, being up there in the stands, up close and personal. I mean, you were seeing how hard these girls are playing. Yeah, just so physical too. Like you said, like we were front and center seeing a girl just get laid out, and she just gets right back up, scores the next play. So that was really cool. As far as the PLL, that whole venue is incredible. To the stands, there's not really a bad seat in that building. They have the bar down lounge. I mean, everything about it is just amazing. The food's great, drinks great. So if anyone is looking to go out to Champ Series, I know in Denver it's a little bit harder here, but I would say, especially if the Outlaws make it next year,
We are.
have some Outlaws out there for Outlaw fans for sure. I think not having a team in the Champ Series was fun too. I know Michael, myself, and Scout, who was there for the Rough Riders, we kind of didn't really have a team to root for, so we were cheering for everybody and anyone. So it was a pretty fun weekend for us. We'd cheer if one team scored a goal, the other team would go back and they'd score another. So we were just having a great time, meeting a lot of people, growing our fan base as well, and yeah, it was just an overall great event. Really stoked on what they've kind of put together with that, and I just know they're always going to continue to improve and grow this style of sixes here. So just great.
Well, I guess I didn't realize how big of cowboy boots and cowboy hats were in DC, because just about every person thought we were the country band halftime show. Morgan Wallen, I'm not gonna throw any chairs today. I think you're silly. But people just could not really figure out who we were. Country band, or we a halftime show. That one guy thought we were a motorcycle group. So, we're. I think we'll have to go a little bit bigger next year when the Outlaws are actually in. I think we need to rent horses or something. Get a mechanical bull or something. We got to go all out, because people would you'd see the Control Alt Delete on their face and they saw the cowboy hat. It's what is that? Yeah, so Champ Series is a ton of fun. Yeah, looking forward to it next year if we get the opportunity to go. And I have a good feeling the Outlaws will be in there with Kavanaugh and Logan Osnakas in there. So I think we'll be there for sure. I guess we can look forward to 2 months from now. Atlas, obviously, you guys will be our first homecoming for the PLL, so you guys kind of set the tone, set the pace. And on top of that, too, you guys, half the All-Star team last year was your guys' team. I felt like that kind of bothered me a little bit. Should have been Outlaws, should have been at least 30 of us, but that's whatever. We'll let it slide. It will be this year for sure. But little shakeup in free agencies. You guys had some big signings. Some people step away. How are you guys feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good about this season. We did make some key signings. We re-signed the people we needed to re-sign, I think.
Trevor.
Yeah.
Trevor needs to be back in Denver. Do you hear him and Danny Logan? I'm calling this right now. I hope they listen to this. I really do. They need to be back in Denver and some Outlaws jerseys. Come on now, they're Denver guys. We got Law back, so I was cool with that.
Unfortunately, I think Trevor's gonna hang up the cleats in Atlas blue.
No,
unfortunately for you guys, but but yeah, we signed Trevor through 27, which obviously the biggest re-signing that we had. Year after year MVP candidate, perennial face-off man of the year. At this point, has anyone else ever won it? We picked up Kobe Smith. That's a big re-signing. I love Kobe's game. He's, quick in transition. He can score twos, and he's good at covering the ball. So that's great. Danny Logan, keeping him through 27. That's, he won. We did end of the year awards this year, and he won our hard hat award, I do believe. He's just always, he keeps it trucking, man. He's blue collar bull. That's what I call him. I hope that catches on. I hope somebody else.
I hope that catches on for you guys.
We'll make it catch on.
Yeah,
we got the podcast. We'll make it catch on.
Yeah, as long as I keep calling him that, right? Somebody else is going to say it at some point.
Hey, it's a hard hat holiday, right? Bing bong.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, we picked up or re-signed Miles. Talk about a career resurgence last year. After kind of a down year, came to the Atlas and just was one of the best midfielders in the league. And I hope that production keeps up. And he's a great guy to have around. It seems like he's he's the fun guy of the group, and knows how to make work a good time. And every workplace needs that. So happy to have him. One more re-signing we had, or two more actually. Chet Camizio for until the end of this season. I really like Chet's game as well. He's, kind of a role player in that second, third line of middies, but he's an impact player in those positions. He's better than the other team's second or third line midi, and that's what I love about him. He's also just one of those hard workers, good shot when he needs to, good defense when he needs to, just all around role player. And then last re-signing that we got for this year was Reed Bowering through 26, and I think Reed, great player, good all around guy as well, and he's one of those guys that he's due for a breakout. He's due for blossoming, and I really think this summer could be that. And I think that's why the Bulls brought him back. Dad, I don't know if you want to go through our fresh signings. We got a couple really exciting ones.
Yeah, we got a couple middies. One that we stole away from the from Utah, which was Cole Williams. Really
That's
good game. Yeah, really impressive. And the one that we really enjoy right now, the one that we stole from the Chaos, is Kyle Jackson, because he also plays for the Firewolves in NLL. So hopefully he'll move to the Albany area and stay here for a little while and really kick off if they ever do the hometown teams being the true, or not just a touring model, but actually a hometown model. But yeah, really like Kyle. He seems like a fun guy. Some of his shots, he's got that under that one shot of his under between the legs that's blew up on social media everywhere. He just seems like a great guy. So can't wait to meet him and cheer for him. And like I said, he plays for the Firewolves too, so that definitely helps.
Well, I think that shot between the legs was actually another New York boy. I believe that was what's his name? Justin, not Justin Fields. No, Connor Fields.
Justin Fields in New York.
He's a Nighthawk. Does that technically count? Does that technically count as New York? Well, I think he played at Albany too, right?
Yeah.
Well,
he is.
Kyle Jackson did it first, I think. I think
Kyle
Kyle Jackson did it in a playoff game.
Oh, we're not going to score normal goals. We got to jump up and throw it between our legs. Like, what are we doing? Back to fundamentals, please.
No. The digs tape rule number 1. When given the chance to do the goalie as dirty as possible, do him as dirty as possible. And this is coming from a goalie. So.
Hey, listen, I played LSM. The second I got that ball off the line, I'm shooting that thing from the 50-yard mark. I do not. I'm ripping pipe from there, dude.
So, but yeah, so like those are the first two, and then we'll see what we get anything else, and then the draft will be coming up. So.
Yeah, I think your guys' biggest steal for that one, I mean, I'm partial, but the DU boys, Trevor Baptiste through 27, that locks down any game. Games are decided at the face-off. I feel like, you can always tell how the game is swaying on face-off. Trevor locks it down, point blank. And then Danny Logan, I mean, I was really thinking that he was going to maybe move around. Maybe they weren't going to give him the chance. Signing him, kind of like you said, he's blue-collar. And I think we saw that with another DU guy, JJ Solstrop, at the Champ Series. These aren't the guys that are going to come in and drop 6 goals a game, but like you said, it's a hard holiday. They're going to start laying out some people. They're going to make some big plays, and when you need them, they're there every single time. Like you can count on them like it's roll call. It's absolutely insane. So, I think you guys are looking good, but I think the Outlaws are looking a little bit better, to be honest.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
I think Max would love to take us through it. I think.
Oh yeah.
We have an all-star starting 3 at attack. I mean, does it get any better than this? Like. It's really starting to look like my FIFA, you know what I mean?
Your attack still doesn't hold a candle to the New York attack, I think.
You watch your mouth before I cut you off on this podcast. I'm going to mute you. Engage has left the chat, sorry.
Throw me in podcast jail.
Yeah. We're going to put like a little bar icon on you. Max, who we got? What are we cooking with?
Oh, yeah, I mean, just going over that attack line, I mean, first off, the Toraton attack line, just phenomenal. We'll have to see how they play, when they start to really get after it when the season starts. But, on paper, and I think right now they're looking extremely good. In terms of free agents, I think Denver did a really good job of re-signing a couple of guys and getting some guys from other teams as well. We can start with the first one. Logan Wisnauskas re-signing. I think I think a lot of people thought he was going to go somewhere else, especially with Brendan O'Neill coming back, or not
Eric
coming
Law
back,
with us
being
too.
signed. Yeah, Eric Law, Brandon O'Neill. It just seemed like it was a little bit too much mouths to feed. So I'm very glad that he's back. For people that are saying there's too many mouths to feed on offense right now, wait till knock on wood, someone gets injured. We have that depth, so I believe that's what playoff teams, what championship teams can be made out of is the depth. And I feel like on offense, they have options no matter what. So Logan Wisnauskas being signed was just killer. So glad he's back. Glad he signed at least there. I think it was through 2026. I might be wrong there, but that was awesome to have him on the attack line. So stoked to see that going. Staying with the offense here, one of the key points are the guy that keeps the glue together on this team, Justin Anderson. Super stoked he re-signed with the Outlaws. Not only is he a great lacrosse player, but he has that leadership in the locker room, on the field, and that's just something that you need, especially with a young team like the Outlaws. You need someone to kind of pick everybody up, get them going. When it gets down to the crunch time of the game, there's one goal difference. He needs to step up, and I know he's been definitely doing that. So great to have him back. Same thing with Eric Law, back for another year. He's got one more rodeo. This cowboy does.
The sheriff is back, baby.
The sheriff is back. So glad he's around again. Another veteran presence that this team needs. And I'm just stoked to see him go at it at least one more time. We'll see if he re-signs after this year. But again, he's just going to keep, teaching these youngins how to play professional ball. So I'm glad he's going on there or on the team there. Don't know where he'll slot in officially as a starter or as a backup. Obviously, I know they'll figure it out come week one, but really stoked he's going on there. The two big signings that I like here, another veteran presence here, really. Manley, Jesse Bernhardt, those guys are lockdown defenders. Glad they're through the 2025 season. I'm going to be pretty curious what the Outlaws do in the draft because from what it sounds like, they are getting close to hanging up the cleats here. So glad they're through this year. But yeah, hopefully we can sign some good, fresh young legs in the draft so that they can teach them everything they know. So come 2026, the Laws are still killing it on defense. So glad those guys are back. Those guys are animals on defense. Really love seeing them play. And then I think one more re-signing I see here, Owen McElroy. He killed it last year. Came in relief, or was it relief, or I think it was an injury. No, Scanoni was injured. I think he's definitely proven himself worthy of being that starting goalie. So stoked to see how the season goes. And then hopefully we can draft a goalie as well. Maybe kind of coach him up as well. But we did sign another player off of the Chaos. Michael, did you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we're still in talks. This is killing me because I'm sitting on a phenomenal edit. Well, at least I think it's phenomenal. I don't know.
I think it's they just haven't posted it yet. I think
they're taking forever. I need to know because I've been sitting on this edit like an Easter egg, dude. I'm just like, okay, any second now. Like my finger is on the send button. Like I'm ready to go. But Zach Geddes off Carolina. Obviously Georgetown boy, so he'd be reuniting with Owen McElroy and then Graham Bundy. So obviously short stick defensive midi. But having him with Tarafanko, I think would be locked down. Like those two would hold it down for us. Give a little more depth to the Michael Manley and obviously JT lock down Giles Harris. You got to put that in there. So I think that would be a huge piece because I do think we were kind of short on the defensive side sometimes. And then obviously with Sean Scanoni retiring, which broke my heart. That really sucks. With him retiring, that kind of leaves us with one goalie. So I'm assuming we're going to be looking to the draft for a second goalie. I don't really know who's out there, to be honest. We're going to have to do a little more depth and research into that one. So we'll see where we go with that. I think the draft should be good. Like you said, I think we'll pick up a couple defenders. And then the other person that we let go, which is really sad for me, is Josh Zawada, another Duke boy that played with O'Neill. Dyson Williams, Zawada, and O'Neill. I thought we were going to get all three of them there for a minute during the draft day when we were going crazy. But we got Zawada after Williams went to the Archers. So I'm curious to see what he does and how he fits in the chaos. But, that should be interesting. We'll see.
Yeah, that was good. And I don't want to always skip out on these other free agents. Nick Grill, Greg Whale, I think I'm saying that right. Those are also great defensive re-signings as well. It looks like Jack Myers is off the holdout list, so stoked to see him come back and see what he can do on the list as well, or on the field as well. But I just think, yeah, everyone re-signing with us is great. Great to see everybody coming back, and then Zach get us to the Outlaws. Our defense is going to be locked down for sure. So looking like a dangerous team in my opinion.
I mean, Dave and Gage, I'm pretty sure you guys can relate with me on this, but I feel like maybe I'm kind of tuning our horns here. I feel like Denver and New York probably had the biggest signings of the year. Like Carolina, I feel like they kind of dropped everybody. Redwoods, we're kind of hoping that they do something. I don't know. But obviously, like Rob Pennell going to the Whips. What are we thinking about that? Obviously, East Coast team. Seeing him in a Whips jersey is going to be kind of crazy. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see Rob in a different PLL jersey. But I guess he's moved around quite a bit in this league. All-time great. I think he'll fit in because he'll kind of fill that role that Williams left in at the Whips. Kind of good ex-player who's really good at distributing, but can also take it to the rack if he needs to. I know that one of his main motivations is he thinks that's a team that he's going to win a championship with. I don't see it personally, and that's not just me being cocky like, oh, New York's going to win it all.
Well, you guys
don't
can't
know
win a playoff game either, just like Maryland. You guys are like different tiers.
Fair enough. But I don't know if Maryland gives him that best bet. In 6 months, if I eat my words, I eat my words. But what is this thing for if I'm not putting out a hot take? I just, of course he's going to make the, Lacrosse Hall of Fame and all that. And it's a good pickup on paper. I just don't think that it's enough to get the job done in Maryland.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how he plays with TJ Malone. Obviously, Zed leaving the team, which was kind of crazy for us. But seeing Pennell with Rambo and TJ Malone, who won Rookie of the Year, I mean, he had a phenomenal year and is just absolutely crushing it. I'll be curious to see what they do. Like you said, I don't know if it was the right fit. I honestly thought, we kind of spoke about this before the podcast, I thought he was going to New York. Obviously being a Cornell guy, played with the Lizards, played with Rabel on the Lizards as well. I thought it was written all over the walls that he was going to that list, but you guys don't really have room for him. You guys have a star-studded offensive line too, so it's like, where do you put him in? Is he a bench guy? Is he a coach? I'd see him coaching here in the next couple of years, but like you said, I don't know if Maryland's the right move. I don't think it's a very weird move, but I guess you're going to make it a whole lot further than being on the Redwoods right now, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there in California.
Yeah, I mean, California, we'll get into that in a second. But speaking of like replacing Zed Williams, obviously we're Mammoth guys here, big Mammoth guys. Zed Williams going out with an injury last week and out for the whole entire season for the Water Dogs. Obviously, the Water Dogs are basically Colorado Mammoth, TJ Ward, Connor Kelly, Zed Williams. So, they're kind of like the Colorado Water Dogs to us. But losing Zed and now you don't have, like, Michael Sowers is going to have to carry that whole entire team, which is going to be pretty crazy.
That was super sad. Big Zed's fan for sure. So seeing him go down was really, really a bummer. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what the Water Dogs are going to be doing without him. We're going to have to see. Tyranny got to be coaching up something here. I definitely do think they'll bounce back for sure. But in terms of personnel, maybe that's a huge hit, and it could affect their season dramatically. But I guess we're going to have to see. We'll have to see.
Yeah, it almost makes you wonder if the Whips knew something. Obviously, they knew he wasn't going to get injured, but kind of feel like the Whips were onto something when they got rid of him. Like, it kind of seems like something was in the air. They were like, oh, we're going to get rid of him because that was a huge trade to get rid of him. So I think it'll be interesting to see him in a Water Dogs jersey. But the other thing, too, California getting Joe Spallina as a general manager over there. Big New York guy, Stony Brook. Is it Stony Brook College? Is that where he's coaching right now for women's lacrosse? Another Lizards guy. How's New York feeling?
Not good, because we know where his kid plays.
Syracuse.
I know. We talked about it, Gage and I, for sure, and we're thinking, hey, it'd be nice to get him here in New York, and played for Syracuse, stay here. But now it looks like California will probably be getting him, unfortunately. So that's not That's not good. We'd like to keep our New York guys here if we can.
Yeah.
But
I will say, I mean, I think huge pickup for California. I mean, Joe Spallina is a incredible lacrosse mind. He's played the game, coached the game at all levels, and now he's going to be running, doing the GM front office stuff. And guys got an eye for talent, an eye for developing talent, and I don't know if they could have made a better choice, honestly. And that's not, giving him extra love because he's a New York guy, but I just really think he's one of the great lacrosse minds, and it's really great to see minds like that rewarded by the league, and in positions like this, because you don't want to just waste these people. You want to make a long lasting, powerhouse of a league. You got to reward your great minds with positions like this, and show them like, hey, we want you to make this a thing. Luckily, I don't think he's going to have to give up coaching, because the GM job itself isn't, too much travel, and it's not going to take away his time too much from coaching Stony Brook. So that's also good. He gets to keep doing what he loves in that sense. I either hope that California gets really good and can't draft Joey Spallina from Cuse, or I hope that he really doesn't like playing for his dad. One of those two would be great.
Would you want to play for your dad? If your dad was Joe Spallina and you're Joey, would you play for your dad?
That's a tough question on the spot.
Oh, there it is.
I mean,
no, he doesn't want to play for me.
my dad coached my Pee Wee football team, so
I did.
It was something.
Yeah, I think Coach Nat was a great coach, and the Redwoods were a really good team for a while. And on paper, I mean, Romar, I mean, like the people that they've had, and then you have John Grant Jr. as one of the assistant coaches. On paper, they have to be one of the nastiest teams in the league, and something's amiss right now. And so maybe Nat stepping down, they can kind of like readdress the situation, evaluate where they're at, see where they're going with Spallina. And he's definitely the guy. Like you said, he's got a knack for talent. And we've seen what he's done with the Stony Brook women's lacrosse program. So now you're doing it with professional lacrosse athletes. And those girls are too. Half those girls will probably play for the WLL. But now you're talking about some veterans, some guys that you can draft, pull over to the Redwoods. So it'll be very interesting to see what they're doing over there.
Sure.
Well, and then that was actually one of our, we had a guy, Aiden Sievert. So shout out to our guy, Aiden. He wrote in asking us that question. And then the other question we had before we wrap up this podcast with you guys, going into the 2025 season, what are your guys' expectations for the Atlas?
I think we got to be championship or bust. I mean, last year, just the start we got off to, and then to have it end on Long Island the way it did, it was just brutal. And I hope the guys, took that feeling of losing that game, and I hope it motivated them through the off season. I hope, their workouts were killer. I hope they were lifting, or their alarm was set to the audio of Kark saying Maryland Whipsnakes are going to the PLL finals.
You have a reason to work out now.
Right. You gotta, motivation is what it's all about, right? But I really think, if not now, when, kind of thing. And we do have a young core, but we also have, Trevor he's a vet at this point. Miles is a vet, and we've got good veteran leadership on this team, and we've got young talent that, going into their second year, with Liam, who only played half the season last year because Troutner was on a tear for the first half of the season, and Shelley, who had a couple injury problems last year, and Tyler Carpenter, who won LSM of the year. I think this team it's ripe, and it's ready to go the distance, and I hope this is the year.
And I think that's something we can relate on. Obviously, the Whips took us out as well, the stage before you guys, so we can definitely relate on that. And I hope we're the same situation with all the signings with obviously Kavanaugh, with Law, with Snakas, signing the defensive people that we are. Goalie situation's pretty decent. I think Tim Sudan is pouring everything into this team to take us back. And, we've gotten rid of some pieces, added some pieces. And it is championship or bust. If you don't win with 3 Tewerton award winners as your attack, what are you doing? And we will go down as that team if we don't win it, which we are going to win it, so it's not going to happen. But if we don't, for some odd reason, something happens, we will forever be talked about. Kind of like the Bills losing all 3 Super Bowls back to back to back, right? We will be that equivalent at that point. 4. You know more than I would, so.
If you're going to talk smack, get it right. Come on.
Called the home of the Bills, and there was no rings, so that's all right. Yeah. But still love you guys. But, like I said, we're in that same situation where you have to win. It's the put up or shut up. And our team is pretty young, few veterans, but we'll have to push through. See, I think in the next 1 to 2 years we have to, or else I think we're going to kind of hit our peak of kind of going downhill. And I hope, like you said, I hope every person's picture on their phone is that picture of us getting knocked out by the Whips, and they're walking in the locker room with their heads down, and it's in black and white, and they're listening to terrible, sad country music every single day, and we're taking you have to hate everything that is snake colored, snake this, that, or another. If it represents a snake, I hate it, and I hope they do too. You know what I mean? So.
Mm-hmm. I think the Outlaws are primed to make it a pretty far run. I think with a lot of their players, a lot of the Outlaws players going into the NLL, I think that's also, only going to help them, in my opinion. We got O'Neill, we got Terafenko, we got Pacino. I could go on about that, but just having these young guys, I know Terafenko's not a rookie, but having these young guys go into the NLL and stay hot in the off season can only help them. So I'm really excited to see how that helps them this year be even more deadly. I know O'Neill's just looking phenomenal in the NLL, so I think he's only going to just transfer it over to the PLL. So it's going to look great. I'm expecting them to really make a splash here. So I'm just really excited for this season and excited to root on the good old Outlaws. And we're going to be here every game, every step of the way. So very stoked about that.
Well, maybe one day if Schellenberger decides to eat some more burgers, we might see him in the NLL one day too. That'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll see. We do have a few people who don't play both sports, or both, inside and outside. But you kind of, mitigate the chance of what happened to Zed happening. That's the double-edged sword of the NLL. It's you stay hot, you get more work, close quarters, so it helps with your ball control a lot. But one injury and you're done for the year.
Yeah, no, that definitely is that's a good topic as well. Because I was thinking, Fitz. I mean, these guys are basically playing year-round lacrosse, and eventually that's going to take a toll on your body. So, are they going to be fresh, ready to go by start time? Because if so, then they'll hit the ground running. But if this NLL season takes a toll on them, if they go for a long playoff run too, it could definitely affect their PLL productivity when they come in, if they're too tired, if they're nursing an injury or anything like that. So all things considered, I hope everyone makes it out unscathed and they're ready to go at it. So we can only see what happens, but that was a great point to bring up. So hopefully it's going good.
Yeah, nonetheless, obviously exciting things in the PLL. NLL is doing some crazy things too, but officially almost 2 months out, a little over 2.5 months out from the PLL season. So we're going to get there. We're excited. Obviously, you guys are the first homecoming, so we appreciate you guys hopping on. We appreciate guys sharing some insight on the Atlas and also the Stampede and who you guys are, what you guys do, why you guys don't root for the Outlaws, but we'll take you anytime when you guys are ready for a real team. Thank you, Dave and Gage, for coming out. We'll have Scout, and then Scott, ironically 2 S's. We'll get them on here soon enough. And to whoever's listening to this, it's probably a solid 4 people. Appreciate everyone that tuned into this, and if you're watching this, I feel even worse for you because I know I definitely have a face for podcasting. So we'll appreciate you guys. We look forward to doing some more episodes with you guys. I know you guys have some big announcements coming up that we will not say right now. We're going to keep it hush hush. We'll let you guys do your own announcements. We have some of our own. So I just encourage everyone, if you're a Rough Rider fan, which should be the majority of you, if not all of you, if you're a Stampede fan, go ahead and come on over. You're safe. We'll keep your secrets safe. But make sure you follow us on all of our social medias. Gage cooks up some really good content over there. Dave is the guru of information too, and Scott's an awesome dude. But follow us as well. We post even better content. I sell some pages out of Gage's book. So, but we appreciate all of you guys. So thank you guys for coming on, and thank you everybody for listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Very exciting stuff coming. So stay tuned. Make sure follow us all on socials. At ny.stampede on Instagram, at New York Stampede on Twitter. I'm not really good at the TikTok thing, but maybe I'll give it another shot with some clips from this podcast with the boys. Make sure you follow Mike, Max, and Scout over there at the Rough Riders. They're pumping out great content, and we don't steal anything from anyone. We're just inspired by each other. I think that's important.
Permanent borrowing.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you guys. I know it's probably late over there because you guys have to have your own time zone over there in New York. So we'll let you guys go, but we appreciate it, boys.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks so much.